So it was when I first came to Coleman. And so that was my first kind of real exposure to corporate finance in an organization. And my initial thoughts were, okay, you're going to set the budget every month. You're going to pull the numbers together, almost kind of like envisioning it as an accounting type role. And the story I'll describe here was the first moment where I realized that finance has a seat at the table, and finance can be a catalyst for growth and a catalyst for strategic decision making in the company. So the example I'll give is that, like any good story does, it starts with a problem. So our CEO says, we're having declining gross margins across the business. We don't know why, but we need to fix it. And so you're in a room with executives and everybody starts storytelling. Well, our COO is like, well, it's because of the rising prices in China, or someone else is like, no, it's because of our manufacturing problems in the United States. And so we start to have a debate that's not rooted in fact, that's rooted in emotion. So what my job was is actually come up with what the answer is. Why are we losing margin, and what can we do to change it? And so what started with a high-level analysis of what products are we selling, at what margins, to what customers, ended up being this extremely detailed price-volume mix analysis. Because what we found is that if you look at your business from a high level, just at the product and customer level, you lose what's actually happening in the real world. And so what we would find as we drill down even more is that, you know, if we're selling more of a certain product category that has a lower than average margin, that's going to drag your margin down. But what we also found is when you get even deeper into the data, it could be a single SKU at a single customer that's dragging the category down. We also found that new products that were being introduced to customers were pulling out higher margin products and putting in a slightly lower margin but still high margin product that was new on the shelf. So we were unintentionally declining our margins through new product offerings. And so when we brought this information to the executive team, it was like, oh my gosh, this is extremely complicated. And it changed the way that we priced our products, and it changed the way that we talked about kind of our annual review with customers. And so when you work in a CPG company, you basically have one shot at the beginning of the year to do your line review with a customer. So at Coleman, for example, we would go to Cabela's and say, here's the assortment that you're going to that we're going to pitch for you this year. It gets set at the beginning of the year, and then you just kind of watch the orders happen. So the process that we changed was we got finance involved in running the process from the very beginning. So finance would run the line reviews. We would build all of the products into one catalog. We would show what was the margin last year, what's the margin this year. We would look at any replacement products. We would highlight low margin products and say, hey, let's replace this with something higher margin. We would sunset SKUs. And this was all work that wasn't happening before. Before, the seller would just go in, pull the catalog, and say, let's sell this product. So what we did was we took back control of the business to be able to make decisions as an organization around how do we want to price our products. And it really changed the trajectory of our gross margin profile and the way that we interacted as an organization. And I sat back from that and I was like, wow, that was really cool. That was a great way for finance to be embedded in an organization and really make a change.